people? I'm More Gamer. Today I'm going to be talking about Return of the Jedi. Because I said I was going to talk about it a while ago, but just never got to it, and now it's time to talk about Return of the Jedi, which is my second favorite Star Wars movie. It's right behind Empire. To me, it gets way too much hate because I see a lot of people complaining about this movie all the time. And just, I don't get it, honestly. I absolutely love Return of the Jedi. Very few gripes with it. It's amazing from the opening to the very end. It's just great. I absolutely love the opening, how they're going to save Han and everything. We see that Lando is a good guy, because at the end of Empire, wasn't really sure if he was or not, or if he's just there to like really save his own skin, because he knew the Empire would betray him eventually. He didn't really know what Lando's whole deal was, but you know, we see that he's actually a good guy. He's helping save Han and everything. And you know, then we have the escape scene at the barge with the Sarlacc pit. That scene is amazing. I love it. It's one of the best action scenes to me in any Star Wars movie. I love the setup. It's so cool. The music's great. How all the music's going off like at the right cues. You just see Luke there at the end of the board, well, at the end of the plank, about to jump off. Jumps off, turns around, jumps straight back up, and then grabs the lightsaber from R2. And it's so cool. And then we see like Leia kills Jabba, and Boba Fett, sadly, one of my complaints in the movie is the way Boba Fett dies. Up until then, Boba Fett was kind of going ham. He tied Luke up. He was about to kill Luke until, you know, Han hit his jetpack, and then he went flying into the barge and then went into the Sarlacc pit, sadly. Just such a cool character gone too early. But anyways, Star Wars kind of has a history with that. But yeah, Boba Fett, if you look at that, he's zeroing in on Luke. He's about to kill Luke, and then Han hits him in the back. But that scene's so iconic. Boba Fett, where? It's great. I love it. And there's humor in it that's fantastic. I love it just because Han's, I don't love it a lot, but anyways, because you know, Han's completely blind during all this. You have Lando who almost falls into the Sarlacc pit, and Han, a blind guy, is aiming the gun, and he's like, no, don't do it. He's like, hold on, I got you, I can see, Lando, I can see, it's alright. And then he just shoots it, and saves Lando. And yeah, just, I love everything about that scene. It's great, from Luke going up to the sail barge, getting Leia, and like shooting a sail barge with its own laser, and Jabba dying and everything, and Luke going, like, being this awesome Jedi. Luke's finally an awesome Jedi, because the past two movies, he hasn't been that great at a whole lot. He was a great pilot, but besides that, he kind of failed as a Jedi. You know, he left his training to save his family, and got butt kicked by Darth Vader. And before that, you know, he was whiny until he got to sort of Death Star, and you know, he progressed into more Luke you like and everything. And here we get to see more of it become full circle in Return of the Jedi, which I think is, to me, Luke is the best character development out of any trilogy ever, because we see him start as this whiny kid on Tatooine, and then he progresses in A New Hope to this character we actually like, because he's been through a lot. He's had a lot of experience. Basically his parents, his aunt and uncle, but they're basically his parents. They raised him. He sees them dead, which, you know, that'll change someone. And then he goes through, you know, helping save Princess Leia and stuff, and a lot of stuff happens. And so he's more this character that we like at the end of A New Hope. And then Empire Strikes Back, he's just trying to become a Jedi. He goes through his training, but he's still really impatient, and he's not ready to be a Jedi. And then at Return of the Jedi, you know, he constructed his own lightsaber. He knows a lot more about the Force. He's much more, he's like an actual Jedi now. So he's had great character progression, and just the character development with Luke was spot on. I loved it. It's come full circle in Return of the Jedi, and he's just this awesome Jedi. I love Luke's design in Return of the Jedi. He's got that cool, like, all-black look with the awesome lightsaber. One of my favorite lightsabers in any of the Star Wars movies is that Luke's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi. It's so cool looking. It's got sort of an Obi-Wan type hilt, but it is a little different, and it's green. This was the first time we saw a green lightsaber, so it's like, yeah, because all we had seen before that was, you know, blue and red, and now we see a green lightsaber. It's like, okay, a lot more colorful lightsaber. It's pretty cool. And again, Luke is great. But yeah, then see Luke go to Dagobah later, and Yoda dies. Pretty sad, but you know, Yoda's and everything, so we know Yoda's alright. But Yoda's dying still is a pretty sad scene, the way he dies. It was very well handled, and it's like, oh, Yoda, because I absolutely love Yoda in the originals. The prequels, they basically tried to ruin Yoda, it seemed. They made him a prick, but in the originals, Yoda was great. I love Yoda. And then we get to Endor later on, and Endor, well, the Force move Endor to me looks awesome. I like the idea of this place just being a giant forest. I think that's really cool. And when the speeder bike chase happens, that's one of my favorite chases in movie history. It does look a little dated, but it's still awesome how the chase happens, how Luke and Leia are on there, and then Luke gets his own speeder, and they get separated. Luke, like, when he jumps off the speeder, and then, like, pulls his lightsaber out, and that speeder bike comes towards him, and he cuts the end of it off. He goes spinning and crashes. That was so cool. It's like, yeah, it's awesome, because, you know, Luke gets, you know, thrown off of his speeder because he crashes into a tree, and it looks kind of like he's defenseless against the speeder that's coming at him, but he pulls his lightsaber out, and it's so cool. And then, you know, just Leia chasing after that stormtrooper, and then she runs into Wicket, the Ewoks, who have a lot of controversy around them. A lot of people hated them, a lot of people consider them sort of the Gungans of the original trilogy, which I don't have that big of a problem with the Ewoks, but I do have a problem with them in the fact that how they beat the Empire. I like the idea of a technologically inferior species like this Yoda, like this Force Moon, being able to beat this big bad Empire, but I wish they would have made them different creatures. Not Wookiees though. A lot of people wanted them to be Wookiees, and apparently like they're originally supposed to be Wookiees or something like that. But I'm fine they weren't Wookiees because I liked the fact that Chewie was the only Wookiee we ever had in the originals. I like that, and I just wish they would have had it be a different species, or just not even have it be inhabited at all. Just give us a bunch of rebels, and the rebels are already at a disadvantage, so they could have just thrown a bunch of rebels on there and not even had this species. They didn't even need Ewoks or any other, or Wookiees or anyone like that. They could have just had it be, you know, rebels going against the Empire on this forest moon, which would be awesome to me. I'd love to see just a bunch of rebels going against the Empire. But anyways, all the shenanigans and everything that happened, well, shenanigans is the wrong word, but everything that happens on the Force Moon of Endor is great. I love it. And yeah, just, you know, Han throwing around stormtroopers. You got the part where they're just sitting at the door, and Leia actually gets hit for once, which I think that's pretty impressive. Say what you want about the Ewoks beating the Empire, but the Empire, well, a stormtrooper actually hits Leia in the arm. That's pretty impressive for a stormtrooper. I do love the scene. Like, there are some great scenes with the Ewoks though. Like when they all initially get captured, and they think C-3PO is a god, and they're putting the torches to light them on fire, and Han's trying to blow out the torches. And then we see, like I was talking about earlier, the character progression of Luke. We see that Luke's very calm in this situation. If we were to go back to the previous movie, he'd be a lot more like Han in that situation. But he's progressed, and so he realizes he stays calm, and then he uses his powers to make it look, well, the Force to make it look like C-3PO has his god power. And I love that scene. It's so great, everything that's going on with that. And yeah, I really like that, how like C-3PO just starts floating around, so just freaked out by it. And yeah, I love the scene where the little Ewok gets on the speeder bike and all the stormtroopers chase after him. I thought it was funny and good, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, because he just gets on there and starts flying, and all the stormtroopers are like, dang, we gotta go get him. But yeah, I didn't care for the Ewoks, but there were some good scenes with them. There were some weird scenes too, like the scene where that Ewok just dies and the other one that cuddles up near his body. It's like, oh god, that was a tone shift. You know, I thought these Ewoks were all kind of playful and happy, and then one just dies and the other cuddles up right next to him. That was that felt a bit out of place and kind of weird, but it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just one little thing. But yeah, that part where that Ewok dies, it was like, whoa, it's kind of big. But yeah, we got to see the AT-STs go wreck house a bit too, and I love it when Chewie, the Ewoks, take over that one AT-ST, and they go up to Han and Leia, and they're like, oh crap, we're screwed, but Chewie just gets up and he's like, Chewie, get down here! It's great. But yeah, I really like the planet of Endor. The Ewoks I could care less about, but there were some good scenes with them. I think everyone has to admit the fact that the Ewoks weren't all bad. There were some good scenes with the Ewoks. Well, then we have the Emperor's Throne Room, which just everything that happens in there is fantastic. It's all very well done, and I love it. The dialogue's great, and we really see how much of a servant Darth Vader is in the scene. Up till then, he was like this big, awesome dude that like just wreck house and beat the living crap out of Luke in the prior movie and everything. And it seemed a bit like he was in charge of, you know, we've seen some stuff like Grand Moff Tarkin had told him not to choke that guy, but here, and we see who his master is, and he's really obedient. Like, whoa, this guy who like took control of everything, he has a master. How bad is this guy? And Ian McDiarmid just kills it as the Emperor. He always does. He was one of the best parts of the prequels. The prequels was pretty bad, But Ian McDermott was amazing in those movies, and he's great in these movies. Which, like, the dude just constantly is amazing as the Emperor. The guy, Ian McDermott, is fantastic as the Emperor. And I love it. Like, he's so manipulative and great about everything. He gives Luke, who's been pretty much a calm Jedi throughout the entire movie. We haven't really seen him get that mad or anything about it. But here, he tries to strike down the Emperor, and then Vader blocks it. And we see just the Emperor smile, and the Emperor looks like this creepy old dude. He looks so creepy. And that fight happens. We find out that Leia is Luke's sister. I love that part where Luke's like fighting Mankind and everything like he has through most of the movie. And then he's like, your sister. And he just, no! And just starts beating the crap out of Vader. Just destroys him. And then the Emperor comes over and he's like, I'll never join you. I am a Jedi, like my father before me. Which is one of the most, like, the best lines in all of Star Wars. One of the best is, I am a Jedi, like my father before me. That is one of the best lines of all of Star Wars. It's great. And Mark Hamill does an amazing job as Luke throughout all the movies. But here he really has to, because he's going up with Ian McDermott, who's a fantastic, just great actor. And so I love it when he throws his lightsaber away, even though that lightsaber's so cool. It's like, no, don't do that. And he just starts getting shocked. And you also have to think about the acting that's involved there, and the fact that he has to pretend lightning is hitting him. So literally, just Ian McDermott is holding his hands out, and Mark Hamill has to pretend he's getting hit by lightning. Imagine that. That would be like, because you have no visuals to go off of. You're just like, but he does a really good job. And then what makes me like Revenge of the Sith more is this scene here, because we see that Darth Vader is watching the Emperor shock Luke, which mirrors this scene. Well, Revenge of the Sith mirrors this scene by having Anakin watch the Emperor, zap himself when he's zapping the Mace Windu, but the Mace Windu blocks it back into him. It mirrors that scene. And I really like that. It makes me appreciate Revenge of the Sith a bit more, because it's pretty cool how those scenes mirror each other. And but this time, Darth Vader actually makes the right choice. And yeah, this is great. He just picks him up, throws him in there, and of course they add the stupid no. I grew up watching the VHS special edition, so you did have some serious stuff like in Jabba's palace, when you had that stupid CGI dance scene that was awful, but the no was not in there. And then, when the DVD and Blu-ray stuff came out, they added the no, whatever. It was awful. I don't know why they added that no, but it doesn't ruin the scene or anything. It's just really stupid. It's like no. It's stupid. But anyways, he saved his son, and of course he had before when Luke was like, there is good in you, I can sense it. And we see that Darth Vader is actually good. He's not some terrible guy. And so he tries to save him. We actually see Darth Vader's face, and we get some great moments there. And then Luke drags his body back to Endor and burns his father, because Viking funeral for Jedis is what they always do. So yeah, just Return of the Jedi is amazing. There was, of course, these aren't supposed to be completely in-depth reviews where I talk about everything. Which is a lot of talking about what I really enjoyed about the movie. Like Jabba's palace, I loved every design in there. Like the atmosphere of Jabba's palace was amazing. I really liked it. It definitely fit. The music was great and everything, and it really fit. In the rain core scene, I forgot to mention the rain core scene. I loved it. We just see this creature, and Luke has to take him on without his lightsaber, and he takes that bone and does it. It's great. And then we see that big fat guy come out and cry over the rain core. It's like, whoa. Okay, what's going on here? But anyways, yeah, I love Return of the Jedi. It's my second favorite Star Wars movie. It, to me, has the best opening of all Star Wars movies. That's including the barge scene with the Sarlacc pit. Because, you could say only Jabba's Palace is the opening, but I include the barge scene, the Sarlacc pit. To me, best opening out of all the Star Wars movies. I love it. Anyways, Return of the Jedi is a fantastic movie that, to me, gets harped on way too much. I see a lot of people like, oh, they created a second Death Star. That's not original, but then there's the same people praising Force Awakens for creating a third Death Star. That's not a spoiler, by the way. We already knew that from the posters and everything, that there's a third Death Star called Star Killer Base. But anyways, yeah, I absolutely love Return of the Jedi. Fantastic, amazing movie. All the characters are great. Also, we got Lando going with the Death Star, which is really cool. That whole scene was great, how they have to fly in there, especially when the shields are still up and everything, they haven't taken them on, and the Emperor's just talking to Luke, and he's like, oh no, and Lando's like, pull back. Anyways, again, absolutely love Return of the Jedi, my second favorite Star Wars movie. Please let me know in the comments below what you guys think of Return of the Jedi, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like.